So I want to ask, is selling Gakpo the right move? Because whether you think he's good enough or not, he's experienced, he's an international player, and he chips in with goals and assists. And what it boils down to for me is we're basically going to sell Cody to bring in Ibrahim Mbaye if that happens. So it's a straight question for me in my mind of, is that smart? Because you kind of know what you get with Cody. You know you get versatility, goals and assists, but Mbaye, it's a project, is what I'm basically saying. And I could be more nervous about this because I'm not well enough informed on what level Mbaye is at yet. But it feels very much a financial driven decision rather than what's best for the squad, if that makes sense. Because gentleman earlier on said, be better if we sold Chiesa and Endo or something like that. And the fan in me agrees. But the pragmatist in me that knows the owners and the way that they'll want to recoup money kind of feels like this is the necessary evil to get those two deals in. But I don't think it's the best planning for the squad. Because if we're being logical about it, like we're already talking about who we might need to play central. Well, Cody can do that at a pinch. And we're giving away somebody who is Premier League proven, is an established international, to get a project player who has a very high ceiling. I just wonder, is it a little bit too rushed? Could you have maybe kept Cody for another year, see how Mbaye settles in? Or maybe I'm just being wrong. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. And Simon said, why sell him? No, it wasn't Simon, it was David. Said, why sell him to Spurs, strengthen an opponent? The answer is probably because they're the only ones who'd pay the money that would tempt Liverpool. I agree with you. Ideally, if you are selling a player, you want to sell them outside the league. Or if you're selling them in the league, sell them lower down the league. But Spurs putting Tonali, Fernandes, they're seriously looking to get back up that league table. And yeah, it is interesting. Actually, on that, let's talk about Cody Gakpo. There was a report came out this evening. 1 second. I want to read this one out. So, I don't even know how to pronounce this name, but it's a Dutch journalist pronounced Jus Blahuth, said, what I think Spurs, made a project with Cody Gakpo that he's going to be the striker up there, combined with a big contract, a longer contract from London, where it's easy to get a 1 hour flight. You're back home flying to Eindhoven, where he's supposed to live. I think that's made him think about that step, where maybe at the club, where they like him a little bit more. I think Liverpool, I don't think it's the case that Liverpool fans don't like him, but they maybe expect a bit more from a winger. What is it about these Dutch lads wanting to go home all the time, by the way? That's the first thing I thought of when I read that piece out was, so we want a 1 hour flight back home. I don't know. It feels weird. Matthew said, not going to lie, Cody's won me over this pre-season. Sorry, I'll read that one in a second. See, I was never as turned off by other people last year because I said so many times throughout the year, yes, it was disappointing. So was the rest of the team. But I think people started to expect things of Cody Gakpo because we lost Diaz. And I think a lot of that frustration came from the point of view of we don't have that Diaz-esque type player. And Cody came in for the brunt of it. That's the way I think about it anyway. Greg said, sell Cody, Mac, Jones to pay for Wharton, Bajcetic and Bay. But it wouldn't, or by Carlton, it wouldn't even get close to pay for it. So Cody, let's say 70. McAllister, nobody wants to buy. So can't sell him if nobody wants to put the money down. And that is where we're at, Greg. Because I feel pretty confident to say if an offer came in for him, Liverpool would have taken it. If it was an offer that he was open to. But it didn't. So we can't sell a player who there isn't a buying club, and there isn't. Especially not at the level, like if you said, okay, you can have Maka for 40, 50 million quid, maybe, yes. But Liverpool will be wanting 70 to 80 probably for that player, and there's nobody out there looking to bring him in. Charlie said, it's the same as Diaz leaving. Gakpo is solid. And that's it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'd like us to have brought in Mbaye, got rid of Chiesa, got rid of Endo, got rid of a few others, got rid of Elliott. And rather than having to hope it all works out, just kind of mitigate the risk a little bit. That's what I would say. But then again, that's a fan-led, idealistic version. Trav said, Gakpo will get the odd goal and assist, but he's got zero intelligence in the final third, lacks composure and makes wrong decisions. Get rid. I mean, thank you for your opinion. Respect the fact that you've shared it, mate. Thank you. I think a little bit more than the odd goal and assist now, to be fair, but he is limited. I don't disagree with you on that. He is limited in what he can do, but I don't know. I guess we're going to find out if it's the right decision soon enough by the looks of it. But again, thank you, Trav, for sharing your views, mate. We don't always all have to agree on everything, but I appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts. I think Iriola prefers pace, and that's why we're selling Gakpo. I think, anyway, if you keep him, you're not backing the manager's decision. Well, we definitely need pace, and he wants versatility, and he wants wingers that can play on both sides. So that much I definitely agree with Calder. He does want pace, and that was one of the attributes that we all said we needed to get in, and that's what Barcola brings. Like, what has actually surprised me about this a lot is there's been a fair amount of people that just don't want Barcola. I was reading so many comments today from people who just flat out don't want him. Doesn't matter what the number is. They just don't think he's good enough. Mark said, defences know how to defend against Gakpo. He's too predictable. Plus, he hasn't got the pace that the gaffer wants down the left side. So there's pros and cons to every player, Mark. And with Cody, I would say that his tactical intelligence is really high. He does have strong attributes physically, and he does chip in with goals and assists. He's somewhat limited in his versatility in the way that he attacks in his direct running. I probably agree that he doesn't have the pace needed, although he isn't a slouch. So ultimately, I get it. But I just feel like I think we're doing it for money rather than doing it for the best thing for the squad, if that makes any sense. I think this decision to sell Gakpo has been led by recouping money rather than it being the best thing for the squad. Do you think Cody can play the 10 for Wirtz? Oh, Jesus, no. God, no. If you're sorry, I was just blunt with that one, mate. Sorry. Yeah, if Wirtz isn't playing the 10, I think for me, Szoboszlai, maybe McAllister, but certainly Szoboszlai would be the one I would be moving forward. Like, if Wirtz was suspended, I'd say probably look at Gravenberch, McAllister with Szoboszlai further forward. That would be my guess. Doglink said, Craig, if Iriola succeeds at Liverpool, which current player is most likely to become the symbol of the new era? Oh, that's a belter of a question. I'm going to say Szoboszlai or Barcola for me. One of those two. I hope we're talking about Wirtz. I hope we're talking about Isak. But I think Szoboszlai really has... He just feels like he's grown into it. And, you know, he's now a leader. A proper leader. So I'm going to say him or Barcola. Because if Barcola works in the way that everybody hopes, it could be super exciting.